welcome to the 2024 Summer Doggy Olympics opening ceremony.
It's like, where's the stuff to blow up?
That's right. I'm here with three very special guests. I've got Michelle Morrow from Pause With Me Canine Enrichment. I've got Monica Allaire with Barrington Barks and Behavior. And I've got April Bigosh from Canine Strong. Thanks for joining me, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Yes. You are going to hear from all of them tonight because they do have events in the Olympics this year. And also, two of them were judges and instructors in 2021. And interestingly, Michelle was actually a competitor in 2021, and now she's on the other side. So you're going to learn a little bit about their events, see some cool pictures so you know what to expect. We're going to answer your questions. We're going to highlight canine athletes, go over some of the details in case you didn't see our first broadcast and you are interested in participating. You'll get all of those details as well. So let me jump into it here. And actually, first, before we do that, let me just flash this up because we love to see your name when you ask a question. And the only way we can do that, if you haven't done it already, is to go to streamyard.com/Facebook. to give permission. So otherwise it just has Facebook user and we don't know who you are and we can't address you accordingly. So if you don't mind authorizing that, if you want to, then we know who you are. All right, let me share my screen with you. All right, well, this is very exciting. It has been several years since we have had a Doggy Olympics, and we always try to time it with the Human Olympics. And when I was looking at the schedule, I noticed that their opening ceremony is tomorrow. So obviously we didn't want to compete with that. We didn't want to have to make you choose between the two. So we're doing it tonight. And we've got lots of great stuff to tell you. So let's hop into it here. So first off, we want to say thank you to our Gold Bone sponsor. This is our big sponsor who was instrumental in helping us to kick things off this year. So we are grateful to Woof Meow Family Pet Center, who is also a corporate sponsor of Golden Dog. And you're going to meet our other wonderful sponsors as well, who are instrumental in making all of this happen. So what exactly is going on with the Olympics? So if you're not aware, if this is the first time you're hearing of the Doggy Olympics, it is competitions that are happening over a 2-week period. July 25th tonight, the opening ceremony through August 12th. And on August 12th will be our closing ceremony. And then we have all the competitions happening in between that time frame. We're focusing on both physical and mental competitions, and you'll learn a little bit more about that as we get into the presentations. We have over 600 competition slots available because we have competitions happening in 14 cities and towns from southern New Hampshire all the way up to Laconia, and from Concord to the seacoast. And this is a collaborative effort with 19 partners. So again, as I mentioned, this would not be possible without the wonderful support and help of our partners, 3 of whom are here and you will learn about. So here is a highlight of our hosts and instructors. These companies here are either hosting an event and or hosting and instructing. And many of them are judging as well. So again, and I always say this with all of my presentations, when you're deciding where to spend your hard-earned dollar on your pets, please consider patronizing our partners. They do an awful lot for us. All right, so why are the Doggy Olympics taking place? So the Olympics are to provide fun and unique physical and mental activities for dogs and their people. And we host both individual and group settings so that we can appeal to dogs of all temperaments. We offer opportunities for dogs of all abilities, temperaments, ages, sizes, and breeds to enjoy a fun and friendly experience with their guardians. We provide bonding opportunities for dogs and people, and we recognize dogs for their natural gifts as well as their love of enriching activities and to highlight the beautiful relationships people share with their canine companions. So I'd like to highlight that because you may be thinking, oh, my dog needs to be a fierce, hard competitor in order to join the Doggy Olympics, and that is not it at all. It is about fun, friendly competition in a positive and welcoming and inclusive atmosphere. And that's what the Doggy Olympics and all of our events that we host have always been about. So first off, let me talk to you about the physical competitions. And then April and Michelle are going to talk to you individually about their competitions. So you get a little bit of a better look at, in depth at some of the competitions we're offering. So we've got the treat triathlon competition and the pool toil retrieval competition. Those are being offered by Woof Meow. The fun fitness competition is Canine Strong. And then we have a water fun competition being offered by You and Your Dog Training and Services. Intro to parkour competition is Red Pointy Dog Training. Intro to agility competition is the Hooksit Dog Agility Cafe. The obstacle course competition is also Woof Meow. Fido's Fun Run competition is Pause With Me Canine Enrichment. An intro to trick and intro to nose work are also the dog agility cafe. So you can learn actually more about all of these. Like I said, we're going to go into depth in some of them, but to learn more about these, if you see the ticker at the bottom of our screen, that is the link you would want to go to get all the details about what the Olympics are about, how to join, and also how to find out what individual competitions are taking place. So we're going to have Michelle talk to us first. As I mentioned, Michelle was a competitor with Brutus in 2021, and you may have seen her posts or her videos about how Brutus, it was very uncomfortable for him and her at first. Brutus is a reactive dog, and she really needed to feel comfortable with Brutus. And I've learned a lot from Michelle over these last couple of years, trying to make these games more inclusive with our partners for reactive dogs. And dogs just have special needs and more of a bubble space. So Michelle's going to talk to us about what she's hosting and instructing and judging, which is Fido's Fun Run at Canine Connection, which is the new indoor dog park located in Laconia, New Hampshire. Michelle, tell us all about it.
Sure. This is pretty much a well-rounded, fun obstacle course. So we've got some scent work, we've got some tricks, we've got some fitness, we've got some agility, we've got a little bit of everything. We have over 10, I call them stations or different obstacles that you'll be going through, working with your dog, communicating, and it really is about your connection. Are you communicating properly? April taught me this. I learned a lot about this from April. I thought I knew what I was saying to Brutus and could communicate, but when he's just looking at me and doing something else, I'm like, okay, something's not happening. So you'll have an opportunity. You're going to be able to go through twice. So your first run is going to be the test run. We'll walk you through station by station. And then the second run will be judged by both Sarah and myself.
And Michelle, you, as I recall, you're reactive dog friendly. You're also senior dog friendly. Can you speak a little bit to that?
Sure. Sarah has a 4,000 square foot space, and we have made sure that we have enough space to spread dogs and their people out, as well as we have a front entrance and a back entrance so we can get any reactive dogs in and out safely. And we have the climb there that Danny's on. We can take the legs off and make it smaller so that either smaller dogs or dogs with mobility issues can do it. And we'll just make sure that everything is able to be done by everybody. We'll make whatever accommodation we need to.
Awesome. And we appreciate that. And like I said, Michelle is just one example of many partners who have been willing to cater their area to specifically. Sorry, guys, I'm still getting some feedback. If you guys just don't mind muting yourself when you're not live. Yeah, thank you, guys. One example of many partners that are working with us to cater this event to dogs of all temperaments, all abilities. We do have a senior division this year as well. We had a mobile cart division and we had a puppy division, but we don't have anybody signed up for those yet. But those are the accommodations we make so that we truly can be inclusive. So thank you, Michelle. I appreciate that. Just a few comments coming in here. Ray's checking in saying good evening. Rachel's saying that her crew is all set. Get your bark on. Love it, Rachel. Thanks for watching tonight. Raglan Road TV says great work. Thanks for that. And Ray is asking if we have doggy rugby. Now, guys, you need to know this is my husband. And he kind of, razzes me from behind the scenes here. I don't know why. He knows we don't have doggy rugby. I don't even know what that is. He probably made it up. But anyways,
Golden
thank
Dog
you, Ray.
That next year.
Yeah, there we go. Thanks for your comments, Ray. All right. So next up is April. She is offering Fun Fitness. This was a very popular one in 2021 as well. And this is very accommodating to reactive dogs, which is fantastic because you're signing up for individual competitions. So it's just you in her space for 45 minutes. And I do know that most of her competitions are sold out. There are a few left. So if this is something that you're interested in and you have not signed up for your competition package yet, there is still some options. So I want to introduce April, who is a partner of Golden Dog as well. She offered this in 2021. So she was a judge, an instructor, and a host. So April, tell us about you and your expertise and what people can expect at Fun Fitness this year.
Sure. So first of all, you put all these great pictures together, which is lovely because it sort of highlights everything that they're going to be doing. So that was awesome. It also highlights in the top right corner, you can see Michelle with Brutus. And that was, obviously the first time that anybody's done any of these things, but he and she are a classic example of, why it's important to be inclusive. And, Michelle, probably not so much now because you've come a long way with both of you, but she had a lot of her own anxieties as far as being able to bring Brutus in to do any kind of activities. So one of the things that Tracy mentioned is that we are definitely individuals. So when you're signing up, you are the only person and dog or whoever comes with you in the space. There will be no other dogs coming in and out. We are on a second floor. On some level that can be challenging to some, but on the other level is that it's away from the entrance and exit door to the actual facility. So there is no distractions. When you're up there, it's just us and you're doing your thing. We call it Fun Fitness because I have had some questions about it where people have sort of said, like Tracy, like, well, does my dog have to be this like superstar? And what if he doesn't know anything? What if she can't like even put her foot on something? No, I mean, the competitions are definitely like front paws up. So we're putting their front paws on something. We have all 4 feet up, as you can see in the bottom center. Then we have a limbo competition where they're trying to go under things as low as possible. And then we have a high jump where they literally are jumping over something. And then the obstacle course, which is what you see Lorianne and Obi doing down in the very bottom left. So, but the thing is, this is it. I tell people all the time. I had some brand new people come and do an orientation with me just last night in preparation for the Olympics for Saturday, and their dogs had never really done any of it. They did amazing. But what I want people to realize is just like what Michelle highlighted, it really, this to me is more about having the connection with your dog, bonding with your dog, and then learning how to communicate with your dog. So they don't have to be an expert in any of this. Some of you, I look at some of the names and I see you've done it before, and I know what to sort of expect. Sometimes they always do something different, but we sort of know what to expect. But I really want people to just enjoy the idea of learning with their dog, but like what Michelle said, like learning to communicate. And so much of it is, we are highlighting the Doggy Olympics, but what people realize when they come to work with me is that so much of it is about the human and how the human is communicating with the dog. And so that's going to be one of the things that I highlight. So we have sort of criteria that says, what's the physical capability or ability of the animal within their own right? What's the bond and the connection? Like how well do the human and the dog work together? Improvement, right? Like if you come in and have absolutely no skills whatsoever, but by the time you leave, they're doing things they didn't do 45 minutes ago, that's improvement right there. So everybody's going to have an opportunity to show that. And most dogs and people will show some kind of an improvement. So I don't want people to think that they have to have a dog that knows how to do this stuff. The other thing, kind of as Michelle said, is that I like to know who I have coming in beforehand. And that helps me to arrange the equipment. So not every dog is going to do exactly the same thing as the other dog. That's slightly different than the Human Olympics. They're all going for the same thing with the same goal in mind. But this, again, is about, I want success for both the human and the animal, and I want fun. So we're going to make sure we tailor that to whoever walks through those doors. You see all this equipment back here, and some of you might already get nervous and think, oh my God, there's no way. We'll make sure that what you do is appropriate and fun for you and your dog so that everybody has a good time.
Awesome. Thank you, April, for that. Wonderful. We have a question here. I'm just going to flash it up. So Sandra is wondering, my son's dog is competing. Will I be able to come and watch as a spectator? And also, will I be able to carry my Yorkie with me? So Sandra, that's a great question. I've had many, many people ask if they can come and be spectators. Some of the venues will allow for people to come. But however, your son would need to have purchased the competition support and training package. That was an additional fee. It was an add-on, and that is the only one that's giving VIP access to friends, family to come as well, based on the venue, of course. They couldn't bring their whole family if they had a family of 10 people, but we work within the space so that all dogs competing feel safe, and we still have that welcoming atmosphere. So you definitely wouldn't be able to bring your Yorkie regardless, just again, because the competitors are there, and we want to make sure that there's no distractions. And if there's a reactive dog there that maybe doesn't do well with small dogs, then that would be a distraction. So we wouldn't be able to allow that. So again, just ask your son if he's purchased the competition and training support package. And if he hasn't and he wants to, there's still time. There's lots of benefits to being in that group. Things like those competitors knew the judging criteria way before the other competitors. We have special tips and resources and things that are being shared. We're doing a special Ask the Vet series. So it's still a very useful group, even getting it into it now just during competition. But thank you for asking that question, because I know it's been on the minds of many people. All right, so thank you, April, for that. So now let's talk about the mental competitions that are coming up, because that is just important, just as important as the physical competitions, just to kind of balance out everything that the dogs are doing. And certainly over the years, I've even learned more about enrichment from our wonderful partners and how beneficial it is to dogs. So we certainly would not have Doggy Olympics without including them. So this year we've got the longest tail competition, longest sit and stay competition. Those are both running with Pet Supplies Plus in Somersworth and Friendly Pets. We have the treat toss competition with Woof Meow. We have the howling singing competition with Jody Karate. We have the ice cream licking contest with Golden Dog. Sensory Explorers competition with Barrington Barks and Behavior, and you're going to learn a little bit more about that next. We have the Canine Water Carnival competition with Golden Dog being hosted at Canine Chaos. I should mention also Sensory Explorers is being hosted at the mall at Fox Run. And then the Urban Pawsathlon competition is being run by Golden Dog and being hosted at Kimberly Sarah Photography in Portsmouth. So, you can see how we have a great combination of hosts, instructors, judges, may not be at their business, may be at a different business. And everybody has been so wonderful to work with putting this all together. All right, so as we mentioned, Monica is doing Sensory Explorers at the mall at Fox Run in Newington, and she ran this as well in 2021. So she'll be speaking to us from an instructor perspective and a judge perspective as well. And I know she's got a presentation to show us here, but I wanted to just show you a couple pictures of the setup. Upper right-hand corner was Michelle. And before I go to Monica, Michelle, I would love for you to just talk about this moment, because this was kind of a pinnacle moment for us understanding the needs of reactive dogs as it pertained to things like this. And we've made some big improvements this year with Monica's competition, just based on your feedback. So I'd love to hear your story.
I'm just getting the goosebumps, just kind of reliving it all. This was probably the most anxious activity. I don't want to say activity, but location for me, period. When I heard, oh, Michelle, you have to go to the mall, bring Brutus to the mall, I was like, you want me to do what? So I was already anxious just thinking about having to bring Brutus into this public space where other people and other animals would be, number one. Number two, right before the activity, I actually had an interaction with some random person outside. I had stopped to let Brutus roam around, go to the bathroom. This person had driven up. He had a dog in his vehicle, and he was like, oh, can my dog say hi to yours? I'm like, no, that's not a good idea. We talked and it was fine. But then he drove up to the mall, got out of his vehicle, and went in the mall with his dog off leash. So now my anxiety level is triple, and I'm thinking, God, how am I ever going to get through this? Brutus was fine the whole entire time. The people and the other participants were amazing. Terry was nice and said, you go. Like, she was there before me. She said, you do what you need to do, get in and get out. And honestly, when Brutus was in there, he didn't even know that anything was going on outside of that fence. He did his thing and enjoyed his time. And when I left the mall, I get in the car and I literally cried for 10 minutes. Just the release of the stress. And because he made me so proud, it was an interesting experience. And I'll never bring Brutus to the mall again. But he was great the whole entire time. I am a helicopter mom, so I reached out to every single instructor beforehand. April, Monica, Laura. What are we doing? Where are we going? How do we get in? How do we get out? Where am I going to sit? How am I going to get out if something happens? I will leave. I have a reactive dog. I will leave if I have to. And I didn't have to leave one event because he was fine. He was fine. When we did Laura's, he did get a little anxious because a lot of people were, some of the activities, the people were coming towards us, and that was very uncomfortable for him. So I just walked him in the other room. We actually went inside and walked around a little bit. He decompressed. We came back out and we went right back at it, and we finished the event. So it was a great experience, and definitely a proud mama.
Absolutely. And we learned so much from you, so much so that this year it is still being held at the mall, but it's being held in a 10,000 square foot private space at the back of the space. And we do have a rear entrance so that you do not need to enter through the mall if your dog is uncomfortable with that. So again, like I said, we learned a lot from Michelle and Brutus's experience so that we could try to be as inclusive as possible. Can we do better? Absolutely. But we don't know what we don't know until somebody gives us some awesome feedback on a survey and tells us what we can do better. But we think that this exposure to the sensory explorers now at the mall will be a lot more positive, like Monica intended. So Monica, I'm going to switch gears here into your presentation.
Sure.
Let's see here. All right, so why don't you explain to us about what Sensory Explorers is, because I know there may be several people who aren't quite, familiar with the unique thing that you do.
Sure. I'll just say that because I have kind of a diverse educational background, that has contributed to the development of Sensory Explorers, looking at the dog's natural ethogram, putting together all my learning. Sensory Explorers is a multi-sensory environment originally designed as a therapeutic aid to help reduce anxiety and facilitate better social interactions among humans, and it has morphed over into the dog world. We can go on. And this is just who I am. I do a lot. I've done a lot of learning. Just go right on by that. So Sensory Explorers, like I said, we're kind of following the dog's natural ethogram. And an ethogram is just a catalog of behaviors that a dog would perform outside of the human influence. So things like sniffing, exploring, expressing their natural curiosity, moving their body in a way that they choose, avoiding or approaching items as they choose, promoting agency. We can move on. So this is one of the ones, I think this was at Canine Chaos, and you'll see a lot of pictures of dogs with nose down. Obviously sniffing, but what's going on is a lot more than sniffing. There's a process of sensory integration where information from in this setting, from the outside is gathered and made sense of in the brain, so that then the dog can respond appropriately. And it goes beyond the 5 that we're all familiar with. It also includes proprioception, interoception, and the vestibular system. We can go on. So in order for really any dog or being to be successful at life, at any activity they undertake, they need the amount of time and space they need to figure things out, to keep their nervous system regulated, which we can help with, and just to express their curiosity. We can push dogs to go faster, but it's a different experience when they choose the pace. And by us supporting that amount of time and space they need, it's better for them, which in turn is better for us. Fewer behavior problems. We can go on. And again, the benefit is for both yourself and your dog. When your dog is more relaxed, when their nervous system is regulated, when you feel more regulated, you can co-regulate, which is this marriage of your emotional state and your dog's both working together, and hopefully in a much calmer way. You can go on. And these are just a couple of pictures of things that you might find in the environment. Because my education has continued over the years, I modify sensory explorers as I learn and gather new information, and new studies have come out. So there was a time when there was food in the environment to start with. That's no longer the case. The exploring is based on those senses, not on a dog's hunting out food. There's nothing wrong with using food for training or for treat searches, but in this environment, there's no luring by food. It's the dog choosing. And when you come to a session, hopefully I'll see many of you, your job is going to be to keep your dog safe, which means distance from anyone else who might be there, and allow your dog to move as freely as possible. So yeah, all kinds of different scents, animal, vegetable, etc., etc. And we can move on. And this is just a little setup I had at Pet Supplies Plus for an event not too long ago, just kind of demonstrating that these enriched or multisensory environments can occur in any size space. We are really fortunate to have this partnership with the mall, and that space that is going to be available for the sensory explorers is massive, and I'm really excited about it. We just did a fundraiser there with Golden Dog, and the space was gorgeous. Again, that has, Tracy, I think, mentioned a back entrance and a front entrance, and I will have some gating so that if there is, well, I guess we have to talk about spectators, but if there is anyone else waiting, they're not going to be able to walk right in. They will be a nice barrier with the fence, just defining the space.
Exactly.
Move on. And these are just some of the benefits. I probably already went over them. We're reducing stress. We're improving confidence. When we do those things, that leads to better quality sleep. The effect of good quality sleep cannot be overstated. It is imperative for your dog and your well-being to get good quality sleep. When we allow our dogs to be curious, then learning takes place internally, which is a wonderful thing. Sensory explorers can improve overall mood, which helps in the reduction of the perception of pain. And we know how important that is for our dogs. So much arthritis, that's a whole nother subject, but improving mood, excellent. And then decreasing the experience of pain. And I think that might be it. Tried to kind of zip through for you, Tracy. Oh, and just one of my favorite sayings, curiosity is the wick and the candle of learning. Promoting curiosity with ourselves and in others around us, you cannot go wrong. Curiosity sparks learning. So, moving on. And I can't wait to see you all.
All right,
Excellent.
let me just switch back over to another one here. All right, so Monica, Jan had a question for you. She says, do the dogs go through the sensory location on their own, or are other dogs going through at the same time?
So Tracy, I know we had kind of talked about, it kind of depends how the signups go, whether you need to have an individual session or whether there would be, for instance, at Canine Chaos, we had I think maybe 3 or 4 dogs at the same time. At the mall event, we have one at a time, so we can certainly, work around your dog's needs.
Yeah. So, and Jan, I think you purchased or you chose a reactive dog friendly ticket. So yes, you will have a great experience for Scout. So not to worry there. We're going to take a look at how many reactive dogs sign up and how many dogs pick a group setting, and that'll determine kind of how we set stuff up. So appreciate you asking that question.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's appropriate to mention this, Tracy. I know we had talked about it a little bit. If it's absolutely not possible for you to get into the mall, talk to Tracy and I do have one alternative for reactive dogs so that they can participate and be successful.
Okay. Do you feel though that back entrance that we have, that seems like it'd be pretty secure
Yes.
and away from, okay, good. But yeah, that's right. We did talk about another plan after that, just in case.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, got you
Wonderful.
covered, Jan.
Thanks for covering that, Monica. Appreciate it. So also new this year, over 2021, something that we're doing is if for some reason some of the competitions we have that do not fill up by our competitors who pick the competition packages, we will open them for general admission. So for instance, tomorrow night we have our water fun competition at Canine Chaos. We only had 2 competitors pick that. So we did open it up for tickets, and we do have a total of 5 dogs coming. So that's perfectly fine. We'll still be judging those dogs that have picked that, but there are some that lend itself to more dogs coming and just having a fun event, even though they're not being judged. So these are some of the ones here that you might see that go up for general admission tickets. If you are interested, and then that would be at our regular ticket price that we do our pop-up events and things like that. So, and we'll promote those too if they come available. All right, so now I want to highlight the canine athletes for you. We have 22 so far signed up. Only 21 are highlighted tonight because somebody signed up last minute, so we don't have their information yet. But I just love, we got such great information on these dogs as far as their age and their favorite toys and the activities that we love. And Monica talking about ethograms, it's really interesting to see here the different things that dogs love to do in comparison to the competitions that they've signed up for. So I think we have some real competitors here come to play this time. So we've got Pepper and Tilly here. They are from the same family. We have Orion here as well. So they have come to play. We have Obi-Wan, who you might be familiar with. We like to call him the Rudolph of our events, because when he's at an event, he'll let us know where we are because we can hear him in the front. And it actually has worked out well because we were like way behind the pack one time and we weren't sure where everybody was. And then we heard Obi bark and we knew exactly where we were. So we love having Obi in the front. We've got Rocky, who's also returning. Obi's returning as well. The first 3 that you saw, they're new this year. And Willow is new this year. But just look at that face. That's so cute. We've got some professional photographs here. So love seeing that. And you'll see there's a theme here that's similar. There's a lot of dogs love their stuffies, or dogs love their little squeaky toys, or, tennis balls is a big one. I love to see, all the things that they love. There's Scout. That was Jan who was asking about the Sensory Explorers there. That's her dog. And he is reactive. He does very well at our events, though, because she knows how to manage him well. We've got Evie joining new this year as well. And Whiskey is also joining new this year. Hanson is new to the Olympics this year. He loves doing tricks. So if he does the intro to tricks, he might scoop that competition. We'll have to see what he signs up for. Layla May is new this year as well. She's joining us. Cody is returning. He was in the 2021 competition. He is our first competitor in the senior division, so we're very excited to see him back. And you can see here, he loves his tiny babies. I think that's so cute. I remember one year, I was the Secret Santa for Cody, and Jody, his guardian, told me he loves tiny babies. So I made sure to find the perfect tiny babies for Cody. I think I got squirrels in the log or something like that. It was so cute. All right, so then we have Griffin, who is new this year to the Olympics as well. And we've got Nala, who is from the same family as Griffin. Nala will be in our senior division, though. And we also have Gypsy, who is in our senior division, all new to the competition this year. And then we have Charlotte and Baloo and Bedecked and Bedazzled. They're all from the same family. And I might remind people that in 2021, it was a Basenji that took home gold. So we've got a couple Basenjis that are entered in the competition this year that are highlighted. And then we have Ryder, who's new to the competition, as well as Hadley. I love Hadley's nickname, Hungry Hungry Hadley. So I'm going to assume that Hadley's going to sign up for like the treat toss and the treat triathlon. Sounds like that would be right up Hadley's alley. And then we also have Tori in the senior division as well. So that rounds out the 21 athletes there. And then the one I mentioned, we have an additional one that's not featured here. And want to give a shout out to our judges. If you follow our page on Facebook, you would have already seen all of these people featured along with their bios. It's just really fun to have guest judges involved, and you don't know where they'll show up unless you look at the different competitions that are coming up, and you might see that one of these guest judges is going to be at your event. Like, for instance, Sean McDonald, I know he's going to be at one of the events at Canine Strong. And I know Kelly and Karen are both going to join me this Saturday at Woof Meow. So you may see some of these guest judges at your events coming up. And then I want to give a thanks as well to our WAG Bag and giveaway sponsors, some of whom are the same as the instructors and host sponsors, and some are different. Some of our partners did multiple sponsorships, and we're grateful for that. So the WAG bags, if you signed up for the top competition, or if you sign up for the top competition package, which is Royal Canine, you get a huge WAG bag filled with all kinds of good things, totaling $75 in retail costs. Donations from Stella and Chewy's, Woof Meow, Canine Chaos, Good Paws Bakery, and also a couple companies that came late that are not mentioned here are also the what's the name? It's the VNA, but it's their pet outreach program. I can't remember the name of what they call it. And then my husband threw in those great neoprene can lids that everybody loves. So great bag of goodies. And literally one of the items in there is a 5-pound bag of dog food. It's very heavy. So I want to get these out of my house and get them onto the competitors that have earned them. So we're grateful to them. So a lot of people wonder, what are the medals? What do we get? So I'd like to put a picture in here from what was awarded in 2021. It is actually competition medals from a company that produces them for AKC, the dog competitions, all the championships. They really put a good quality product together. So there is trophies for bronze, silver, and gold, as you see pictured here. Then we have competition medals. So all the competitions you're participating in, you have a chance to win that competition. And then obviously all of your competitions are averaged out, and the highest score overall on average of how many events you competed in could win you gold, silver, or bronze. And you do have to compete in at least 5 events or more to be considered for gold, silver, or bronze. But again, you're eligible at any level for the competition medals, the division medals, which are the senior division, as I mentioned, and then recognition and awards. And that is specifically up to the judges. So like, I'll go back to April, Michelle, and Monica after everything's said and done. And I'll say, okay, who amazed you? Who surprised you? Who shocked you? What kind of awards do we want to give based on achievement? And that, I have to tell you guys, that was probably my most special moment of the closing ceremony, was going through those, because there's just such heartwarming stories that each of you told about that experience. And again, all of these awards, the numbers, the trophies, nobody knows who's won anything until we get to the closing ceremonies. So the closing ceremonies are really, really special. And this gives you a sense of the medals. So the dog head here, that's a metal piece on a ribbon. And this year it will be the logo that you see here, our round 2024 Doggy Olympics logo will be on these. And then on the ribbon itself, it says 2024 Doggy Olympics. Then it says the name of the competition that they won. And then it says their first name. So it is very special. It's very customized to that dog. And all of the trophies have that same information to the dog's name and what they won. It's not just a general, first place, Doggy Olympic. It's customized for those dogs. You worked hard at the competition, so we want to make sure you have a special thing to remember your fun at the Olympics. And then sometimes we get asked, are these made of the medals listed? No, they're not. We'd be broke, but they are special and unique nonetheless. So just like to show that.
Brutus
All right.
proudly displays his medals on the Christmas tree every year.
Yep. And here's some, some pictures of some of the dogs that won last year too. It is. People loved just having it as a novelty. They loved taking the pictures. It was just kind of a nice keepsake. So the closing ceremony will be at the end of the games, August 12th at 7 p.m. And basically what we'll do is we'll share highlights from the 2 weeks of competition. These same instructors may be able to be with us if they're available. We'll probably have some additional instructors as well that will talk about their events so that you can get to meet them and hear directly about their competitions. We will have a recap from judges and instructors, as I mentioned. We'll award the bronze, silver, gold trophies, the competition medals, the division medals, and the achievement medals. And I know we'll have lots of stories and maybe even some tears, depending on what happens. And then after, so what we do is we order, once all those are awarded, we order from our company, we wait for them to come in. And then when we do, we have an ice cream social. We'll most likely have one up here. This one was in Lee, and then we'll probably have one in Southern New Hampshire because we have more competitions down there. And that's where you can come and just have a get together, enjoy a sweet treat, pick up your medals and trophies, and just kind of reminisce about all the fun that we had. So that will be scheduled once I receive the trophies in or when I know they're coming, so we can make sure everything is here and everything is correct before we give them all out. And so, as I mentioned, if you love what you're hearing and you want to join, there's still hundreds and hundreds of competition slots available. You are not too late at all. And it's easy as 1, 2, 3 to join. Basically, you're going to go to the website address that you see here and at the bottom of your screen on the ticker. You choose the competition package that you want. Then you will receive an email from us with all the details on what you need to do next and how you pick your individual competitions. And it will give you all the details so that then you go to our link and you register for those individual competitions. Now, also what I wanted to show you, just because I found there's been some confusion about this, this is the website that you're going to when you're learning about the Olympics. You're, getting all the who, what, when, where, why, how, learning about the competitions, testimonials. You'll learn about the competition packages as well. Now, there's also information here right under the competition packages that will direct you to this page, which is actually where all of the events are listed. So if you want to get a sense first of, your availability, dates, times, location, make sure it works with your schedule, all you need to do is come here and you can see all the things being offered. When you see sale has ended, the sale ends 24 hours prior to the event because we have a bunch of paperwork we have to do to get the information to the instructors and to the participants so they can be ready. And then you can see here, like fun fitness competition. This one's already sold out because it's a one dog slot. So obviously that will say sold out quickly, but you can keep loading more and scrolling through here and just seeing all the great stuff that is available so that you can decide if, you're going to have the time in your schedule and if you want to invest the money and join us in the fun. So that is a little bit more on how that works. And I think that is the last slide. All right, so I'm going to actually keep this up here just in case people are considering that. I'm going to go see if there's any additional questions. And if you have any questions, guys, too, this is a great time to post them. Also, if you are watching this on the replay and you have questions, we will be monitoring that. And if you have questions for Michelle, April, or Monica, I'll tag them as well so that we can get you an answer. So let's see. Sarah says, we love our WAG bag. Yeah, you got it pretty much early on because you signed up right away. So yeah, hopefully your dogs are enjoying all the goodies that were in there. And then Kaden said, will there be someone there taking photos or video of our dogs to do their thing? So yes, in most cases, there is more than one judge there. Some of them are not. Like, for instance, April is doing her own, but she will be doing her own photos and video as well because she only has one person going through the competition at a time. Others like Monica, I'll be there to help. Michelle has Sarah there to help, the owner of Canine Connection. But in most cases, there's a couple judges and or a photographer at all. We'll be taking video so that we can create highlight reels and things like that. And our goal is every day after the competitions to do updates. Hopefully we can do it that night. It depends on how many competitions were there during the day. But so we can do highlights. We can let the audience who's watching and not participating know how things are going, seeing all the fun that the dogs are having, and just kind of create the keep the momentum going and the fun throughout the 2 weeks. So absolutely great question, Kaden. Also too, if you are in our VIP Facebook group and you bring somebody with you and they want to take pictures as well, by all means, but we will definitely be doing that because we want to make sure we really do a good job of telling the story of the Olympics this year. So that is all I have for questions there. It looks like I'm going to stop sharing my screen and I'm going to just go back to you guys and see if you have any parting words or parting tips or last minute suggestions you want to share.
Sure.
Yeah, Monica. Yeah.
I would just say that this is all about the relationship with you and your dog. And I know I didn't talk a lot about the judging for sensory explorers, but you know, I'm looking for things. I'm hoping to see things where you and your dog are in partnership, you're flowing together, you're working together. And if you're not, that you're just trying, because none of us are perfect. Our dogs aren't perfect. And this is not about perfection. It's about the partnership between you and your dog.
I don't know, Monica. I have to disagree with you. I think dogs are perfect. I'm sorry. I have to disagree there.
Have you met Brutus and Ruby? Come on now.
They're
Exactly.
fabulous.
But I'm glad that you mentioned that, Monica, because I remember in the majority of the judging criteria, which you can find on the event so that you know what we're judging you on for that competition, most of them do have a line item that says handler, dog handler connection, teamwork, communication. That is so, so important. You know, and I think that's really what sets us apart from the hard, fast competitors. We're looking for you to bring that relationship, bring that bond, have fun, show your dog how to have fun, and have just a wonderful connection with them. It's not it's not about, hey, dog, go do this. It's about you being involved with them and enjoying all that we have to offer. So thank you for bringing that up, Monica. Michelle, did you want any last parting words?
Well, I think you just said it. It's fun, right? I think we need to remember that we're out there and we are competing, but we are really out there just having fun with our dog and enjoying life and seeing what we can do.
Exactly. Yep. And I love that you're on the other side this year, because hopefully you'll come back for the closing ceremony and then you can see it from both perspectives and maybe have additional stories to tell. Yeah.
I'm excited.
April, any parting words?
Actually, just something that I thought of, because I was like thinking about Monica's event and Michelle's event and whatever. Mine, there is a certain amount of luring that goes along with it, in the sense that we do, where Monica doesn't involve food. Mine, most of the owners find that it's easier for them to get their dog to do something if there is food. So if there are people out there, I mean, I would encourage bringing your own. We certainly have treats available there, but if there are food allergies or sensitivities or any of those kinds of things, please bring your own, or at least let us know so that we don't have that kind of a response after the fact. Because, there are plenty of people that can do this work without doing treats, but most will use treats at some point at some level with what we do. So I just wanted to kind of throw that out there. And I don't remember whether I put that in sort of the tips and tricks on the page that we have, but I just thought about that as we started talking about Monica not using food versus me using food.
It's nice to have events that are different like that, though. So if people have never tried a an activity that is not food based. This will
Yeah.
be new for them. It might be open up some new doors and just some new learnings about their dog, which I think would be very interesting.
Yeah.
So, but that's a good point, April. And I know that in most of the events where I thought food would be helpful, I did list that. And in the event reminder that you get 24 hours prior to the event, it does list if food or if some other type of, if they're more toy motivated or something like that.
Right.
So if you're in a competition that's coming up and you have never been to an event with us before, you do get a very, very detailed event reminder that comes out 24 hours before on where to go, how to check in, suggested things to bring, what to expect, our safety guidelines, yada, yada. And hopefully that will answer all the questions that you have. But I'm glad you brought that up, April.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got a couple things here. So Terry asks, I missed part of the presentation due to chores, but I think it's safe to say Rocky will absolutely love every minute. Yes. And I know Rocky's returning from 2021, and I know he's doing some of the same events he did in 2021. So I know he's doing
super
yours.
excited about because I'm like, okay, if you guys were involved in 2021 and you were involved in the closing ceremonies, full on admission here, terrible thing for like a trainer to say. But I remember seeing Rocky walk across the parking lot and I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do with this dog? There's just no way. And he killed it. He totally, like, no pun intended, he rocked it that first night. He was so good at it. But I'm like, I've seen how he's improved. So I'm like, okay, we're up in the ante here, Rocky. You're gonna have to earn it this year.
Well, to add more context, he's, kind of a shorter dog, cattle dog with little stubby legs, and April's got, bigger type of activities there. And yeah, Rocky, he comes to play.
He
He
does.
knows how to compete. Yeah, he's going to be a tough competition this year.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I think I saw they were already practicing. Is that right, Terry?
Yes, they were. Yes.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Erica says Pepper and Tilly are so ready to go. Very glad to have Pepper and Tilly joining us this year. It'll be wonderful to see how they do. Let's see. Mary Beth says, I signed up for the water fun tomorrow night as a non-competitor. Can I switch to competition? So Mary Beth, you and I'll have to take that offline. The short answer is yes, but you'll have to go in and see what competition package you want, and then I'll have to offer you a credit code for what you paid for the water fun competition so that it brings down the price of your package. And I would recommend that you look at the event calendar first too as well to see what other events your dog would like to do. But yes, why don't you contact me offline and we can get you set up with that if you do find additional events too that you want to that you want to compete in. But yes, absolutely. Ray says, I might have to sign Miss Gilly up as a non-competitor for a few events. No, you're coming to take pictures, dude.
Right.
He's always trying to skirt around things. I just sign him up for stuff, though. He doesn't actually know what he's doing. I'm just like, you got to be there.
Right.
My husband is the same. I was like, mark these dates down because you have a job.
That's right. I'm going to be teaching this and doing that. And well, thank you very much, guys. I appreciate you being here with me tonight and talking about your events and just sharing some memories from 2021. And thank you for everybody who watched tonight. Thank you to the competitors who have signed up. We're very excited to host you and learn from you and teach you and just create another year of memories for these games. I know 2021 was great. I have a feeling 2024 is going to top that with the stories and the heartfelt moments. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Yes.
So enjoy the rest of your evening, guys. Enjoy the Paris Olympics opening ceremonies tomorrow. And for those of you who have signed up for the events starting tomorrow, we will see you then. All right. Have a great night, everyone.
Hope to see you soon.